Hello, this video is all about yoga using a wall. It's one of my favorite props. We will also be using a yoga block. So if you don't have a yoga block, you can grab a box of tissues. It's about the same size. We're just going to use it to kind of gauge our distance from the wall. Make sure there's nothing above you that can fall down and bop you on the head. Grab some wall space and let's get started. All right, let's get started. Just again, make sure there's nothing around you that can fall down and hurt you in any way. We're going to start by facing the wall. And feet can be, place the yoga block about 6 inches away from the wall, and that's where your toes are going to go. Feet about hip width apart. Reach your hands up and just feel a lovely stretch through your side ribs, maybe up into your upper arms. Full breath in and a full breath out. And then drop your left hand down and reach your right hand over to the side. So let's go for a full body stretch on the right hand side, maybe from your hip all the way up through your fingertips, a big line of energy in a curve or an arc here. You can use your left hand to support yourself against a wall and keep your neck and head just in line with your shoulders comfortably. On your next inhale, reach both arms up, center them again, and then on an exhale, drop your right hand down and reach your left hand over towards the right a little bit. Again, feel that full side body stretch. You can support yourself with your right hand against the wall. Take a full breath in here and just notice where you feel this stretch. Inhale, both hands back up. And this time we'll add a little bit of a twist. So drop your left hand down either towards your hip, or you can bend that elbow and wrap it behind your back. And you're going to angle your shoulders towards the left. You can press away a little bit from the wall with your right hand. So we're going for a twist. Try to keep both hips facing straight onto the wall and twist only from your belly button up. Be sure that you're not putting a big arch in your low back yet. Inhale, both hands back up to center. And then exhale, drop your right hand down and either keep it to your hip or wrap it around your back. Use that raised left hand to just twist slightly away from the wall by bringing your right shoulder behind you. Just adding a gentle twist, and check that both hips are still facing the wall. We're not twisting from the hips, we're twisting from the belly button up. And raise both hands back up, and then lower your hands back down. We'll do a little bit of a shoulder stretch, so feel free to move that block to the side for a moment and come to the wall, again with feet about 1 foot distance away from the wall here, and then step in a little bit closer. So both hands are going to be pressed onto the wall right at the level of your shoulders. Extend your right arm out so it can be either long or you can bend it into a goalpost shape and plant that hand onto the wall wherever you're at. Use your left hand to press your left shoulder away from the wall and turn your feet a little bit, maybe at about 45 degrees. Feel a stretch through the front of that right chest, right upper arm, maybe into your right shoulder and armpit. So you're very gently using your left hand to just slightly press away. It's a little bit more intense if you have your elbow bent. Try it and see what works, and only gently press and just do what feels good to you. This is quite a shoulder opener. If you spend a lot of time at a computer or driving or texting, this is a great way to open up the front of the chest and shoulder. And it's very easy to do against a wall. Just breathe into this. Take 2 deep breaths here. And then we'll angle our toes back towards the wall. Bring both arms right back to the wall next to our shoulders. This time extend your left arm out long. So your chest is fairly close to the wall. Either extend it out long or elbow bent, you choose. Plant your left hand into the wall, and then you're going to very gently use your right hand to push your right chest and shoulder away from the wall. You can change the angle of your feet a little bit. So we're just going for a stretch now in the upper left chest, left shoulder, left armpit, upper arm. Don't push this too hard. This is just very gentle right here, just to provide a little bit of gentle traction. And take 2 deep breaths here. Really breathe into this stretch, this chest opener. And then go ahead and turn your feet, come back to face the wall, bring your hands back down, and then press away. Next, we're going to come to facing forward. And we're going to come into a chair pose against the wall and get our legs activated a little bit. First, do a couple shoulder rolls. Notice how that feels after that amazing chest opener. Step your feet away from the wall, hip distance apart, about 1 shin's length away. Reach back, hold on to the wall, and adjust your feet as needed. We're going to sit straight back. Lean the back of your hips, your tailbone, and the back of your whole pelvis into that wall so you can be up higher, or you can come down much lower. Just make sure that your knees are directly over your ankles, so adjust your feet accordingly. We're going to just sit here, so you can go ahead and lean into the wall with the back of your hips and shoulders. Chair pose. Inhale, circle your arms up overhead. You can graze the wall if you'd like to. Exhale your arms down. We'll get a little movement going here. Inhale, circle your arms up overhead. On an exhale, drop your left hand down, reach up towards the sky with your right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, drop your right arm down, reach your left hand up towards the sky. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, bring your hands back down by your hips, palms to the wall, and press away. Shake out your legs. We're gonna do that one more time. You can repeat what we just did, or we're gonna have the option to come up onto our toes and try that if you'd like to add a little bit more to it. So take your hands back to the wall and go ahead and adjust your feet as needed. Sink back down. Press the back of your hips and pelvis into the wall and backs of your shoulder blades into the wall, and you decide how far up or down you want to be here. It's entirely up to you. And if you'd like to try it, you can come up onto your toes, lift your heels off the mat, and inhale, circle arms up overhead. Really feel all the energy in your legs. Exhale down. Inhale, circle arms up overhead one more time. Exhale down. Go ahead and drop your heels, hands to the wall, and lift back up. Now we're going to face the wall again, and we're going to do a warrior flow. We'll do warrior 1, and then we'll do warrior 2 with some balance in between. So in warrior 1, here's where the yoga block comes in handy. Place the block in front of your right foot, and we're going to stand with your right toes right at about where that block is, feet hip distance apart. Place your hands on the wall a little bit lower than your shoulders so that your forearms are parallel to the floor. We're going to step back with that left foot. So your feet here are on 2 rails. Make sure that your feet aren't in one line, but that your left foot is hip distance apart even though your right foot is in front. Then use the wall to press your chest and shoulders away from the wall. Feel that stretch across the back of your shoulders. Your back leg is straight. That foot is about a 45-degree angle, and your front knee is bent. Make sure that that knee is directly over your ankle. Big breath in here. This is warrior 1 at the wall. Then straighten out that front leg, and then take your elbows and bend them down towards the floor. So we'll come into a nice hinge right at the hips. Your back is going to stay nice and long. Your spine is long. You're not rounding your back, and your gaze is straight down at the mat next to your right front foot. Feel that wonderful hamstring stretch in your front leg. Inhale, press up. Exhale and bend your knee again in the front. So we're back to warrior 1. Now I'm going to ask you to reach your right hand up the wall. Come onto spider fingers. Press that arm away from the wall and feel that wonderful side stretch again. A lot of energy in your legs here. That back heel is pressed into the mat. Your front leg is engaged, and pull your core in. Really feel this lovely side stretch. Then bring your right arm back down, and we'll do the same with the left. So with spider fingers, reach your left hand up overhead. Feel that wonderful side stretch. Keep your legs engaged. Make sure that in your back foot, the pinky toe side of that foot is pressing equally into the mat, the same way that your front leg is. Come back down. Shift your weight into that front foot and go ahead and step forward. And we'll switch to the other side. So move the block so that it's in front of your left foot this time. So this is just a good way to measure how far away your feet should be. You can make any adjustments that you feel comfortable doing. Feet hip width apart, hands to the wall. step back with your right foot. So check that that back leg is straight, your back right foot is at about a 45-degree angle, and your front knee is bent directly over your ankle. Press into that wall. Use the wall to press away. Notice that stretch across the back of your upper back and shoulder blades. Warrior one, your gaze is on the wall right in between your fingers. Nice deep breath here. And then straighten that front leg and bend your elbows down towards the ground. Keep your hands planted on the wall, right where they're at. We're hinging forward at the hips, keeping a long spine. So there's one long line between your tailbone all the way up your spine to the crown of your head, and your gaze is straight down at the mat next to your left foot. You're using that wall for support here. Take a deep breath in and out. Then rebend that front knee and press back up into warrior one. So this time with your left hand, spider fingers, reach that left hand, walk it up the wall, and really feel that incredible line of energy between your back heel, all the way up your torso, your left side, and up through those fingertips on the wall. And bring that hand back down, and this time we'll reach up with the right hand. So make spider fingers, crawl that hand up, and again, a huge line of energy between your back heel, rooted into the ground, all the way up through your side, all the way up into those fingertips, pressing into the wall. Bring that hand back down, shift your weight into that front leg, and step forward again. So even though we're moving slowly, it takes a lot of work to do this. We're going to add a little bit of balance here. Go ahead and shift that block off to the side. And there are going to be several ways to do this depending on what your comfort level is. And remember, most people have one leg that's much better at balance than the other. So if you feel wobbly on one side and not the other, that's totally normal. We're going to stand about one leg length distance away from the wall. So to do that, stand with your palms planted on the wall, arms straight, and then just take one step back. For me, it's about 14 inches. And again, you get to adjust your feet as needed. So from here, you get to decide how you're going to do this. Go ahead and lean forward so that you're at a little bit of an angle. If you need to lift your heels up off the ground, that's fine. And we'll start with our left foot this time. So what we'll do is shift your weight into your right foot and bend your left knee. And then we're going to take this left leg and walk it up the wall. So you can either lift it so that your sole of your foot plants to the wall, or you can hold on to the wall with your right hand and use your left hand and literally lift it up about hip height, excuse me. So you're welcome to stay holding onto the wall here. You're welcome to bend that knee if that's comfortable, straighten that leg if it's comfortable. And if you'd like to, you can release both hands and then bend that knee, reach your hands, hug the wall with your hands again. This time we're going to release the foot from the wall, keep that knee bent and kick it straight back so that that back leg is parallel to the ground. That foot is flexed, toes are pointed straight towards the ground. Use your hands to hold your balance up here. Now think about dropping your left hip down a little. We tend to want to lift that hip up, drop it down. So inhale, bend that knee, bring that foot back up to that wall in front of you. You can hold onto it, grab it if you need to. If you'd like to, you can keep that knee bent, hands on the wall. It's up to you. So exhale, reach forward, hands to the wall, kick that leg back. Let's do two more, however you choose to do it. Inhale, bring that foot forward, plant the sole of your foot to the wall. Stand up straight or hold on to the wall if you'd like to. Hands to the wall, kick that foot back. Bring that foot forward one more time. Stand up straight if you can, give it a try. Bend the knee, kick back one last time. Foot down and go ahead and stand up. Shake out the ankle, roll it out of the leg that you were standing on. We'll try the other side this time. If you need to make any adjustments, if you felt like you were too close or too far away, go ahead and adjust your feet now. And then we'll do the opposite side. So this time, right foot. Go ahead and reach forward, palms to the wall. And you're welcome to bend that right knee as you shift your weight into your left foot. You can either step that foot up to the wall, keep the knee bent and hands on the wall, or you can grab your right ankle and pull that foot through. Your foot is about hip width distance, hip width height. You're welcome to release that if you'd like to. Bend your knee, hands to the wall. This time, kick that foot straight back to the ground. That foot is flexed, toes are pointed straight down to the ground. Inhale, bend your knee, bring it forward. Carry or step your foot up to the wall. Release your hands if you would like to, it's up to you. Exhale, kick that foot straight back. There's a huge line of energy out your back heel. Let's do one more. Inhale, bring that foot forward. Release your hands from the wall if you would like to. And exhale, kick back one more time. Warrior 3. Release that foot down to the ground. It looks simple, but it's actually hard work, and it's a really great way to use a wall for balance. Next, we're going to do a sun salutation against the wall, and then we're going to lower down and do some really wonderful stretches for our hips. So hands are going to be planted on the wall, and then take one step back, so about 1 foot distance back. Press away from the wall, so we're standing. Inhale, circle arms up overhead. Exhale, putting a bend in your knees, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift, so hands on shins or thighs. Your gaze is straight down, and then think about maybe pinching your shoulder blades together a little bit and walking them down your back towards your tailbone. Exhale, forward fold, and inhale, circle your arms down around and up. And as you exhale, bring your hands forward so that you're leaning forward a little bit. Your heels can lift off the mat if you need to. And we're going to do a plank pose right here, and then a chaturanga, but against the wall instead of from a plank on the ground. So I want you to think about pressing the wall away from you. You're going to open up across your shoulder blades, and then on an exhale, bend your elbows straight down to the ground, and then press back up. If you feel like it might be more comfortable lowering your hands a couple of inches, give that a try. Exhale, bend your elbows straight down to the ground, not out, and then press away. Once more, exhale, your elbows straight down to the ground, and then this time, you're going to press away from you, straighten your arms as you lift up onto your toes, and your gaze is going to go a foot or two above you. Little back bend here. Exhale, shift your hips towards the back of the room. You can adjust your feet and your hands as needed, and we're going to come into a downward facing dog against the wall. So a nice flat back, feel a stretch across your shoulders, and use the wall to support your hands here. Your gaze is straight down at the mat. Inhale, back into that plank against the wall, and walk your feet forward. Now let's do a Warrior 2 sequence using the wall for support. We'll be doing Warrior 2, Reverse Warrior, Triangle, and then Half Moon. Take your yoga block and put it to the right. So it's about 6 inches away from the mat. We'll start by pointing our right toes towards that right block with at least a foot in between, maybe a foot and a half. And then bend that front knee as you step back with your left foot. So your feet are going to be in one line. My feet are lined up pretty much against that back edge of the mat, and my feet are perpendicular. So right toes pointed towards the block, left toes pointed towards the front of the room. Connect the backs of both hips and the backs of both shoulder blades to that wall. So you might need to adjust your feet a little bit closer if you need to. Arms out into a T and look over your right fingertips. Reach that right hand forward like you're aiming it towards that block. And then inhale, lift that right arm straight up overhead. Left hand can be down on your hip or down your thigh. Reverse Warrior. You can look up at that right hand if it's comfortable for you. Otherwise, keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine and your shoulders. Reverse Warrior. Inhale back into Warrior 2. This time, straighten that front leg. We're going to come into triangle pose. Again, reconnect both hip points and both shoulder blades with the back of that wall. Both legs are straight now, but your feet are still perpendicular. You're going to reach your right hand down towards your right knee, shin, foot, as you lift your left leg straight up, and your left hip is going to pop out towards the back wall where the ceiling and the wall meet. Triangle, lean into that wall, pretend like you're being pressed against that wall or between two panes of glass. Inhale up, rebend that right front knee, and now we're going to come into Half Moon. So what we'll do here is hop your left foot in a little bit closer, shift weight to that front right foot. What we're going to do is as we reach our right hand down towards that block, we're going to lift our left leg up, Remember, the wall is here to support you. Shift your weight into that front foot. Come up on your back toes. Reach that right arm down towards the block as your left foot comes up. So we're in the shape of a plus sign here, a T. Left hand is straight up. Remember, you have that wall to lean into. Flex your left back toes. And then gently rebend your right knee, lower back down. Warrior two. And then walk both feet so that they're pointing forward. Give your hips a little shake out, and then we'll do the other side. So take your block, shift it towards the left. Put it towards the front left of your mat. Your left toes are going to be facing that block, at least a foot away. And then bend your left knee. Come into warrior two so that your feet are perpendicular. Your right toes are pointing straight out. Your left toes are pointing that way. Connect your hip points and the back of your shoulder blades to the wall. Arms out into a T. Look over your left hand. Warrior two. Then reach your left hand forward like it's coming over that block. And inhale, bring that arm up overhead as you drop your right hand down your thigh or on your hip. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg, keep your feet right where they're at. Reconnect your hips and your shoulders with the shoulder blades with the wall. Drop your left hand down towards your knee or your shin as you bring your right arm up overhead. Keep connected to that wall, both hip points, both shoulder points. Pretend like you're being pressed into the back of that wall. Inhale back up and rebend your left knee. We'll come into that half moon again on this side. So you're going to pop your back foot, your right foot forward a little bit more so it gets a little bit closer. Shorten your stride a little bit. Shift your weight into your left foot. And as we drop our left hand down to the block, we're going to lift our right leg up. Remember, you have that wall for support. Left hand down to the block, right arm straight up overhead, and your right toes, flex your foot, activate that raised right foot. You've got that wall there to support you. Half moon. Put a little bend in that left knee. Go ahead and lower your right foot down as you bring your left hand up. Straighten both feet out. Shake it out and then heel toe your toes together. So now we're going to come down onto the mat and do some stretching. And you're welcome to get down to the mat however you feel like. I'm going to, how we did the chair pose at the beginning, but I'm going to come into a malasana, a really deep yoga squat. If you have any knee issues, go ahead and lower yourself down in whatever way is comfortable for you. If you'd like to try the malasana, garland pose with me, take your feet wider than your hips, angled out at about a 45-degree angle. You can lean into the wall here, and my feet are about 6 to 8 inches away from the wall. Come into that deep, deep squat, all the way down. Adjust your feet as needed. You can press your elbows into your inner thighs and really just enjoy this wonderful stretch. And as you're ready, take your hands to the mat and lower down in whatever way is comfortable for you. Go ahead and take an easy seat here. So cross your legs, shift so that your hip points are against the wall, your shoulders are against the wall. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Let's just go for a gentle side stretch. And then bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Just do a little rotation here, a little twist. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Keep leaning into that wall. Exhale, right hand down. Reach your left hand up overhead. And then bring that left hand down towards the outside of that right thigh. A little gentle twist here. And we're going to come around to lying down on our backs with our rear ends facing the wall. So adjust as you need to. And have your hips about shin length away from the wall. So I want you to have your knees bent, soles of your feet raised up, just as if you're sitting in a chair, but you're lying down with the soles of your feet to the wall. Make any adjustments that you need to. And then lift your right leg up overhead and bend that knee. Bring your right ankle over your left thigh. This foot is active. Toes are pointed straight up towards the ceiling. You can very, very gently press that right knee away from you. Maybe feel a stretch in that outer right hip. If you would like to add to this, you can bring both legs still connected right here towards you. You can shoot that left foot off the wall, reach through here, and pull towards you. It's up to you, or you can keep your left foot to the wall. Your choice. Keep your right foot active. Then take that left foot back to the wall if you brought it forward. And switch sides. So rebend your right knee, left foot straight up towards the ceiling, bend your knee and bring your left ankle over your right thigh, and then activate this foot. Those toes are pointed straight up. You can very, very gently press the left knee away from you if you'd like to, or you can pull your right sole of your foot off the wall and reach through here. Clasp your fingers behind your thigh and pull towards you. It's up to you. Just enjoy this stretch. Take your right sole foot back to the wall if you'd like to. We're going to do one last bit of effort before we do a final stretch. So both soles of your feet to the mat as if you're sitting in a chair. And your shins are about parallel to the floor. What we're going to do is I want you to really press your knees, your feet really hard into the wall, and you're going to lift up. So your hands can be flat down onto the mat, or you can come into these robot arms where you're pressing the back of your elbows into the mat. Lift your hips off the mat and lower back down. So I want you to think about engaging your hamstrings and your gluteus muscles to do that lift. Notice which muscles are firing here. Notice which muscles you're using to lift off. Keep those feet pressed into the wall. One more time. Concentrate on the back of your legs and on the back of your glutes. Okay, this time what I'd like for you to do is try relaxing the back of your legs, relax your rear end, and use your core muscles to lift. So you might not come up as far, but you're going to use your core muscles to tip your tailbone up off the floor. Your hands can be right here or palms down. Think about engaging your core, tighten up your core muscles, pull them all in towards the center, and then use your core to lift up. Might not come up as far, and that's just fine. So instead of using your hamstrings and your glutes, use that core to lift up. We'll do one more time. And then go ahead and drop down. Just notice the difference in which muscles we're firing for the same action. Now we're going to scoot, might not be very graceful, our rear end towards the wall so that our rear end is going to be touching the wall. The easiest way I've discovered to do this is to roll over onto one side or the other. And use your hands, kind of scooch back to where your rear end touches the wall, your hips, and then go ahead and roll back down. Your feet are going to go up the wall. So your toes are pointed up. Your arms can be wherever they're comfortable. Go ahead and wiggle your toes, maybe roll your ankles a little bit. And then bend your knees slightly to where you can bring your soles of your feet to the wall. Take them a little bit wider, and then we're going to windshield wiper. Both knees to the right, both knees to the left. This is a wonderful way to reset our low back, pelvis, and hips. And then we're going to do an inner thigh stretch, and this can be in several different options. You can bring your soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out towards the sides, towards the wall, and let your heels drop down. So this is a lying down butterfly pose. If you'd like to try it, you're also welcome to take your legs straight and just let your heels fall down. So this is more like a inner thigh splits kind of stretch. You decide which one feels best for you. Your hands can be wherever they're comfortable. And just breathe into this. If you need to make some adjustments, please do so. Just find a spot where you can get comfortable, where you can just breathe for a moment. And then as you're ready, go ahead and take both legs up the wall again. Relax your feet. Maybe just do a little bit of an ankle roll here. Find a spot where your arms can be comfortable. And we'll take 3 deep breaths together, and then you're welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like to. If you'd like to close your eyes, that's fine. Just find a spot where you can come to stillness. If you'd like to, you're welcome to put your hands on your belly just to bring some awareness to your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your hands. And wherever you're at in your breath, press all of the air out all the way. Full inhale, belly first, up into your ribs and chest. As you exhale that and let it out, feel your shoulder blades melt into the mat. Feel your hips sink down into the ground. One more deep inhale, belly first, ribs, chest, all the way up into your collarbones. As you let that go, relax your forehead, relax your eyes and your lower jaw. And just feel free to breathe at your own rate and stay here for as long as you'd like to. Having legs up the wall like this is a really wonderful way to combat long car rides, long airplane flights. If you've been on your feet for a long time, at work all day, or if you've been out hiking. Let's gravity do some of the work. Gives our heart a little break. I hope you enjoyed this time with yoga at the wall with me. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.